Hello everyone. Really excited to be here with you today. Um, Probably some of you have been hearing Joel's and myself presentation. We're really excited since April when we launched the joint venture. But today is a very special day because it's Volunteer Day. And as you all know, the volunteers are the heart and soul of PMI. And we're really excited also to be leading this movement around sustainable project management with great volunteers, GPM-b certified. So I think it's going to be a combination between insights, but also the opportunity to celebrate and acknowledge the great work that people are doing. Before we kick off, I also want to acknowledge the great work led by the UK chapter in putting this sustainability summit in place. And I also want to reflect that we did a sustainability summit in 2023, a long time ago. And it's great to see the passion and enthusiasm that a lot of people in the PMI community had already at that time for sustainability. And now we finally took a stand, consolidating the joint venture with Green Project Management, that Joel is the founder and CEO. So also kudos to you, Joel, for starting and formalizing and being a pioneer of sustainable transformation. So if we move to the next slide, Paul, I think when we were planning this presentation, we were really reflecting on our role as project professionals and how through projects we really shape the future. So it's an invitation for all of us to reflect on if we are managing projects or if we are being a force of change and leading the change. So Joel, I would like also to hear it from you, but if we move to the next slide, I just want to share a quote that always inspired me when we talk about volunteers. Let's invite Joel to stage to talk about with us a little bit about what is sustainability and what's sustainability in project management.
Thank you, Lucila. And first of all, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Really happy to be here. I think this is the second or third time I've done this with UK, and it's always great to see. I see that a lot of people here online that are curious about what this is all about. And today we're going to share a lot with you guys. So as you can see what's on the screen here, right? The practice of meeting current needs while enhancing the ability for future generations to meet their own needs. That's the kind of textbook definition of sustainability. It came about through the Brundtland Report in the early 80s. The challenge is that we didn't do that. We're not really meeting those needs. So we're going to dive today a little bit further into generation, and we'll get to that a bit later. But really, it does involve improving all of these environmental, social, economic dimensions to create regenerative outcomes. And regenerative means to make things better than you found them, right? Ensuring long-term health and resilience for both humans and natural systems. But this requires us to think about our projects, not just the outcomes of what we deliver, but how we manage them as well. Are we ensuring that people are getting equal pay? Are we ensuring that we are looking at the impact of our work during the project lifecycle? All this comes into play. And we'll talk about that more as we go forward, but it's really important that we understand sustainability isn't just recycling. It's so much more than that. And we're going to share a lot with you guys on that today.
Yes. Paul, can you allow me please to perhaps present those slides, because I think I would like to, so I about to say like next slide. let me try to share my slides. 1 second. Yeah. Can you see my slides? No, not yet.
We can see slides.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming or no?
Click on present. There you go. There you go. Yes.
Here we go. Okay, so thank you so much, Paul, and thank you so much, Joel. I want to know a little bit more, even though I know, but I want to hear from you about the position about sustainability in PMI. And I think that slide calls to this, but I want to hear like the explanation from you if possible.
Yeah, so it's great that and I'll just tell the story, right? So a little over a year ago, PMI CEO Pierre Lemon WhatsApped me. He goes, "Hey, we should talk about the future." And so we met in London, had a coffee, and we came up with the idea of doing a joint venture. And this is unique to PMI because normally they acquire organizations like PMOGA or Cognilytica, but with us, we want to really demonstrate sustainability in practice. So GPM is still GPM, PMI is still PMI, but we have this joint venture. And so we put all of our IP, which we'll show you in a little bit, our practice guides, our standards, our certification, our training, is now all part of the PMI ecosystem. And we did that so we could really amplify its reach and put it in the hands of change makers, because GPM alone is more grassroots, and together we're a lot more powerful. And, as it says here on the screen, the whole objective is to elevate every project. And in order to do that, we need all of you, the change makers, to be able to have access to these tools and be able to actually do this work with us. And so we're really
Yeah.
excited to have this ecosystem at PMI now and to share it with all of you.
Yeah, and I think it's really important because, of course, like people like in this meeting probably are experts and are really keen and know a lot about sustainability, that everything can be done in a sustainable way. But some people think that sustainability is only about the planet dimension. And I think it's really important for all of us to be champions and really lead the communications about sustainability, because sustainability in the end, it's about efficiency, it's about resiliency, it's how we do what we do in the best way possible, thinking about the long-term impact. So I think we discussed a lot this, Joel. So want you to expand in terms of what we are seeing in terms of organizations and this strategic execution gap that we are seeing. Anything that you would like to share with us in terms of your experience working with organizations, and how are you seeing that gap between strategy and execution, and how the project profession can help that?
Absolutely. And this is across the board, whether you're working in telecom or oil and gas or transformation or services consulting, this is across the board. In all these assessments we've done with organizations, we found that there is a strong desire for organizations to be more sustainable in practice, and also to share that information with their stakeholders, whether that's through reporting or through their website or even just to employees. The challenge they're having is making that line between what their objective is and delivering on it. And who's better suited to do that than project managers? And because the projects we're delivering have impacts, those impacts are material to their strategy. Up until now, there's been absolutely no way to get that message across. And I've talked to CSOs all over the world. I've talked to CEOs and to managers and leaders, and they're saying, we don't know how to make that connection. Well, today we're going to show you how. But I'll tell you that demand is growing, and we have some reports coming out talking about the green transition and how important it is for project leaders to be able to meet that demand through our work and tie that to strategy on the business.
Yeah, yeah. So, and also like, well, we are seeing, and you can also see on screen statistics that show these from like global reportings and the United Nations Global Compact reports. Like many CEOs like are considering sustainability as a strategic priority. Also from a project management lenses, the project success report that we launched last year, and a new one is coming on the 10th of December, show that sustainability is the higher predictor of project success. So if we include KPIs, sustainability KPIs in projects, they have 2.5 more chances to be successful. And I think that's really a call to action for all of us to be thinking how our projects contribute to that sustainable transformation. And of course, there is a big demand in sustainability talent. So that's another call to action to really be upskilling ourselves and thinking in terms of sustainability, and project management being a great tool to deliver change across organizations. So I think the call to action and why sustainability matters, not only because it's the right thing to do, but also because of businesses, of talent demand, and our role as project professionals to be really delivering projects that add value. It's super clear. And we were like in Phoenix 2 weeks ago for the Global Summit, where Pierre was talking a lot about the MORE framework. Anything, Joel, that you would like to comment in terms of the vision for the profession and how we are all invited to do more?
Yeah, this is really important. And I think that the tenets of MORE in and of themselves aren't shocking to any of us, right? We know that we should be doing this, but we find that a lot of organizations don't. And in order to really reach those success factors, we have to be able to manage perceptions. We have to be the ones to own the success, and constantly be reassessing what we're doing to ensure that we're doing that and expand perspective. To me, there's the definition of it, but when I internalize that myself, that's a call for me to expand my own perspective of this is the way I've always done it versus what should I be doing now in 2025, 2026. And that's a call to action to all of us to really understand what's the business need, what's the global need, what do our grandchildren need from us, and to be able to deliver on that. So this ties completely lockstep with the ecosystem that we have at PMI GPM and all the tools we have for you guys, and we're going to show them to you. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, and I think as you were saying, and this is one of the findings that will be released in the new project success report next week, that the project professionals that deliver on these, so they manage the perceptions on success, reassess the parameters, and expand perspective, the projects have not a lot, but huge more chances to be successful. So if you're not using this, you have like 17 chances that the project is successful. If you're applying this, 90 something chances to be successful. So the insights will come next week, but it's a good invitation, and sustainability is like bringing this more mindset to action, because it's about thinking of value creation and how we really expand our perspective, where project professionals are leaders of change, of sustainable change. So tell us a little bit more about doing the right things for the right
Sure.
reasons.
Sure. So when we talk about sustainability, people often assume we're talking about the same thing, but we're not even close. What you see here is the actual evolution of how business and society have approached impact over the last several decades. And it's really important because where we choose to operate on this continuum determines whether we're part of the problem or part of the future. We now start here on the far left with business as usual, right? Or it works. Sometimes you hear that's the way we've always done it. That's got to go away. This is where most organizations built it in. It's linear, it's extractive, it's waste heavy, a world that assumes endless resources, endless sinks, endless resilience. But business, as usual, lives outside planetary boundaries. Those are the boundaries that we have to keep ourselves within without collapsing. It requires more resources than the planet can regenerate, and that math doesn't work. That's why we see compounding crises in climate, biodiversity, health, and equity. You can't run a business on a broken system. And business as usual, exactly, it's breaking those systems. So when you move a little bit up in the green movement, that's what I call the eco-only phase. This was the early attempt to be environmentally friendly. So we talk about that people think sustainability is about just eco. It's not. A lot of recycling programs, green labels, energy efficient light bulbs, useful, absolutely, but not really transformative. It focused on less harm, not different models. It was a step, but not a shift. Then came sustainability, and this is where a lot of people are at, which became a buzzword in the last decade. You'll see the SDG logo next to it here, but I want to be really clear. Sustainability, as most organizations practice it today, is a band-aid. It's only a bandage. It's fundamentally about doing less harm, reducing footprints, slowing damage, being neutral. We don't want that. The problem is we've already done the harm. We've already crossed the boundaries. We've already destabilized the systems we already depend on. You can't do no harm your way out of harm that's already happened. Sustainability is necessary, but today it's no longer sufficient. That's why the next two stages are so critical. Restore. This is where we begin to repair what's been damaged. Restoring wetlands, rebuilding soil, reviving ecosystems, reestablishing social and economic well-being where it's been eroded. This is where we start to take accountability for the past, not just responsibility for the present. But even restoration isn't the top of the curve. On the far right, you see regeneration. This is where the future actually lives, the today actually lives. This is what our GPM-b is all about. Regeneration means designing systems that create net positive impacts, systems that actively improve ecosystems, societies, and economies, systems that operate within planetary boundaries and actually require fewer resources because they're designed to mimic the intelligence, efficiency, and circularity of natural systems. Regeneration is not doing less harm, it's creating more good. It's building economic models that increase resilience, restore capacity, and expand opportunity. This is a space where organizations future-proof themselves. This is where talent wants to work. This is where investors are moving. And this is where academia has a defining role to play. So sustainability slows the bleeding, regeneration heals the system. And this is where we're all at PMI and GPM.
Yeah, and I think we all believe in this and are passionate about this because ultimately sustainability is not something that we add to projects, it's how we deliver projects. So it's a change of mindset in terms of how we are really adding value and how we are, as you said, being regenerative. So I think some of you in the audience probably know this by heart because you are GPM-b certified. But John, would you like to share some insights in terms of what is sustainable project management in practice?
Sure. So if you've seen me present before, you may have seen this diagram, but it's really important to internalize. On the left-hand side, we have what many of us learned in our early careers, the classic iron triangle. There's a couple of variations of this, but basically time, cost, scope, quality. That model dates back to 1968. And for decades, it defined project success. And in this time, it made sense, deliver on time, stay on budget, meet scope. You hit those three and you're considered successful, right? That model's built for a world that no longer exists, everybody. It was built for a world where projects operated in isolation, where impacts were invisible. People didn't talk about that, where resources were assumed to be infinite, and where compliance, not value, was the measure of success. That's why I call it Grandpa's project management. It's a project manager's version of don't break anything and get it done. Well, let's contrast that with what we have on the right? This is the GPM approach and now the PMI approach, which reflects the world we actually live in today and the world we want to see for the future. In the center, you see time, cost, and scope, because of course those still matter, but they're not the definition of success anymore. They're one piece of a much bigger equation. In between them, you see three forces of modern organizations care deeply about: risk, value, benefits. These are the management practices that are necessary to ensure that the constraints don't run off the tracks. So value management, benefits management, and risk management. These are not optional add-ons. They're core technical practices. Executives don't just want a project delivered. They want a project that reduces risk, creates measurable value, and delivers sustained benefits long after it's handed over. And then around that, you see the lenses by which we apply sustainability. We deliver outcomes as products of the project and through our project processes. On the outside is the impact layer of people, planet, prosperity. The two outer layers work in concert as each people, planet, prosperity focus on product and process. This is the world of today: interconnected, transparent, constrained a little, and full of both opportunity and consequence. The P5 ensures we ask the right questions. Who is impacted? What resources are consumed? What values created or destroyed? How will this project affect the organization's social, environmental, and economic footprint? What evidence will we have to disclose? This moves project management from a mechanical exercise to a value creation discipline. So, 1968 told us get it done. Today, it's get it done, create value, reduce harm, and deliver benefits that extend beyond the project itself. It sounds a little bit better, right? The future project is no longer the iron triangle. It's multidimensional, impact aware, that aligns with how business, regulation, and society operate today. And that's exactly what we prepare everybody for in our training and certification.
Yeah, and well, I'm a fan of the P5. Absolutely. You are like a genius in putting that together because it also adds the actionability to sustainability that we were talking before. No, we were saying that organizations struggle with the execution gap. Most of them consider sustainability a strategic priority, but the question is how I make it real, how I make it happen. And the P5 provides and equips project professionals with the tools, with the resources to break that strategy and bring it to life in each project and add that value creation dimension. So tell us a little bit more. And for the ones who are listening to this presentation and are not GPM-b certified, you can also take the QR code and explore a little bit more. But Joel, tell us a little bit more how you started this model and how it works in practice.
Sure. So this model evolved out of practices that I implemented in local government in the U.S. And my government job as a project manager, I was tasked with a pretty monumental objective. We were second to last in economic development, and had a major project to deliver in order to lift us up. And I found the project being wasteful in practice and deployed a very early version of this and was successful with it. So that's how I built GPM out of this. But what you see in front of you is our ontology. But this isn't the tool. This is a visualization of the tool. The foundation of how we teach sustainability in a way that's practical, measurable, and applicable across any discipline. I don't care what type of job you have, or rather, what type of projects you work on, this fits. What makes P5 so powerful is that it breaks sustainability down into interconnected dimensions that I showed you in the previous slide. So product, process, people, planet, prosperity. Instead of treating sustainability as an abstract concept or a dartboard, just trying to figure out what your impact is, P5 turns it into clear impact categories that everyone can actually analyze and act on. You can learn how decisions affect people and communities, how processes influence environmental outcomes, how products shape life cycle impacts, and how all of it ties to economic value and long-term resilience for the business. This is a very important point of people ask, well, how do we get this integrated, or is this valuable? Of course it is. This is the global standard that both PMI and GPM advocate. It's free, as is the templates that come with it. We want you to use it. The QR code on the slide gives you the direct access to the full ontology and all the guidance that comes with it, so you can explore each element in detail. Each one maps directly to it to an SDG goal and target. But the big takeaway is this: P5 gives you a structured way to understand complexity and make informed, ethical, value-creating decisions. The exact skill set that employers say they can't find enough of, where the green transition is talking about we need, this is where the theory becomes practice.
Yeah, so it's achieving on the mission of elevating every project, because ultimately every project can be done in a sustainable way, and you have 245 ways to assess sustainability in your project. So of course it sounds like it's a lot, but it's, as you said, the opportunity for each professional to bring those lenses to your project and to tailor this framework. So, well, kudos for starting this movement, and also for this tool that now is bringing the actionability and the practicability to sustainability. But we have more. Tell us a little bit more of all the other PMI and GPM resources that we have in our network.
So theory is great, but honestly, who cares? We need tools. Project managers need tools to do the work, right? And I'm all about putting tools in people's hands and doing it as easily as possible. That's why these are all free. That's right, free. Our suite of sustainability tools, P5 Standard, the Competent Standard, the Practice Guide, and our brand new reporting guide are each industry firsts in their own right. And together, they form the most comprehensive framework for sustainable project delivery available to, or in any project, or sorry, in any sustainability context in the world. It's fully complete. The P5 Standard was the first framework to link project impacts directly to people, planet, prosperity. The Competent Standard was the first to define what sustainable project leadership truly requires. The Practice Guide was the first methodology to show how to embed sustainability in every project. And this is our third version of this. And the Reporting Guide that just came out last month is the first tool that connects project level sustainability performance directly to sustainability reporting and ESG disclosures. And this is what's really important, everybody. Now, I want you to hear this. Starting next year, if your organization is doing any kind of reporting, and most are, there'll be a requirement for project data. If you don't know what that means to you, download this guide, just read the first page, and you're going to go, oh, I need to learn more about this. It's free. Check it out. All these tools, they're free. This is intentionally because sustainability must be accessible to everyone, not just those with big budgets. Individually, they broke new ground. Together, they don't just support sustainability, they move the needle for the entire profession.
Yeah, and I think this is great for each of us as professionals, because we have like the tools, the resources to really be bringing sustainability to life now, yesterday, tomorrow. But also when we really elevate our roles in the big corporations as leaders and leaders of transformations, I think this is helping organizations to bring that strategy to action. So it also position our roles as leaders of transformation and to be really talking the business language. So they are great. I'm really excited that now they are part of our PMI ecosystem through GPM and the joint venture. And of course, we have like the newest certification and the unique certification in sustainable project management. So, Joel, would you like to talk about this?
Sure. So, as we talked about earlier in the presentation, that the green transition is accelerating, but execution is lagging. The World Economic Forum reports that while 80% of executives see economic upside, over a third already face higher energy costs, regulatory complexity, and slow ROI, all project level failures, everybody. At the same time, the world is running out of people who can deliver on this transition. So PMI forecasts demand for project talent is climbing to 65 million by 2035. Oh my gosh, leaving a gap of nearly 30 million professionals. So how do we close that gap? Well, right here, right? There are two options for you. If you are a CAPM or PMP, there's a short path, and it's only 12 hours of e-learning and a short form exam. And you can do that right now through PMI's website. It's the QR code in the bottom. If you say, oh, I don't have one of those, that's okay. There's a longer course which teaches you the project management aspects and sustainability, and that's from the GPM website. They both lead to the same certification, so don't worry. But these are available to you right now. And we encourage you to think of it like this. The PMP is an amazing certification. And when you put the GPM-b next to it, we look at it as 1 + 1 = 3 because it creates exponential value, right? It's not an or, it's an and. And together, you're able to deliver on everything you've learned, everything your competence has taught you up to now, and adding sustainability to it just makes it even more valuable. So we encourage all CAPMs, all PMPs to challenge this certification and to add it to your portfolio because it'll make you more in demand. It'll make you in line with where the green transition is heading and help us deliver on the future that we need and also for our grandchildren.
Yeah, I think I have been receiving a lot of the question why this is not included in the PMP, that is the gold standard certification in project management. And I think first, like in PMI, sustainability is key. So it's part of our strategic priorities. Now, for the ones that are already reading the PMBOK 8, it's part of like the key aspects of the PMBOK. So it's central and it's core as how we deliver projects. But as you know, the PMP is long. So if we start including all the details about sustainability in the PMP, it's going to be an exam of an entire day. So it's great to have the PMP as the gold standard and then to dive deeper in the sustainability component. So I think, as Joel was saying, if you are a certified project professional, a PMP or CAPM, you have the opportunity to have this fast track where you really go deeper in the sustainability mindset. But of course, like the PMP has things related to sustainability, and also the PMBOK, it's including sustainability. So it's a strategic direction because it's a mindset ultimately on how we approach projects, but we want our project professionals to be really equipped with the tools and the resources at the substance to be really leaders of the sustainable transformation. Anything, Joel, that you would like to add before we move into the community and the volunteer aspect
Sure.
of this movement?
I'll just say that these courses are available online, but also we have some amazing training partners all over the world. And so you could find them on GPM's website. If you have an ATP that you usually work with, reach out to them when we can work with them as well. We want to get this course everywhere across the world as fast as we can to put tools in people's hands. No matter where you are, we want to be able to support you. So if you can't get access to it, reach out to one of us. I'll give you our information here in the chat. There's a bunch of stuff coming at you.
Yeah.
And you guys can reach out to us.
Yeah, and also we are working with a lot of universities now because, again, as we were saying at the very beginning, there is a talent gap that we need to fix in terms of how we equip professionals to be leaders and drivers of the sustainable transformation. So also for the future generations, we're working with organizations, with universities. So the demand of sustainability and the skills to bring it to life and to really have the tools and resources that make it happen is something that we are seeing across the world and across industries and different organizations and also governments. So yeah, I think it's a movement. And talking about movements, we know that PMI, it's about learn, and now we are really grateful and really proud to have this joint venture with Green Project Management that has been an absolute leader in the sustainability and project management space. But also we know that the magic of PMI is the community, is the people, it's you that make this happen through the projects that you deliver, through the connections that you build, through the chapters. So community essentially is our superpower. So we work across the globe with more than 300 chapters. I want to acknowledge the chapters that have been contributing to deliver this sustainability summit, especially the UK chapter that is the leader, the one that brought it to life, and not only this year, but as I said, in the past as well, and put together these content, around 12 hours of content. So join other sessions. Because this is great to see how this is bringing our tools and the different opportunities to be accelerating this transformation. As you know, every year we celebrate chapters that have anniversaries from 5 years to 50 years. And again, recognizing the UK chapter is also celebrating anniversary this year. And we plan trees for each chapter celebrating their anniversary. So also kudos to those chapters that have been celebrating anniversary in 2025. And I want to pause on this slide because this is really, really important for us. We want to create a movement where people are leading the sustainable transformation across the globe. So, as I said at the very beginning, we formalized the joint venture in April, but we have an amazing group of 8 people before the joint venture. That is our Sustainability Outreach Committee, and you can see on slide on top in capital letters in each region. So Ang, Stephanie, Tasheka in North America, Christina in Latin America, in Europe, Eduardo and Raji, in MENA and Southern Africa, Hayal, and Pavindra in Asia Pacific. Some of them are or have been delivering presentations for this summit or are going to be delivering presentation. These 8 amazing volunteers help us to shape the sustainability strategy, and also they help us to recruit champions. And then you can see on slides the 33 champions that we have across the globe, all of them GPM-b certified. They are helping us to bring the sustainability strategy to life and helping us to connect with the people that want to get certified, delivering webinars, delivering presentations. So I think today we're also celebrating Volunteer Day, and we know that volunteers are the heart and soul of humanity's greatest aspirations. And this is how it connects with sustainability, because ultimately sustainability is doing the right things to elevate our world one project at a time. And volunteers are the ones that bring the heart and soul to that transformation. So our absolute gratitude to these people that are helping us to be leading this transformation. And if you are GPM-b certified, or if you are planning to get certified, next year we are going to be opening more opportunities to be really leading this transformation. And I want to recognize everyone. As I said, some Sustainability Outreach Committee members are going to be delivering presentations today. But today is Volunteer Day, so hopefully everyone feels recognized through the voices of the people that I'm going to mention. And I want to celebrate volunteer excellence. And from our Sustainability Outreach Committee, I want to call out Pavindra. Pavindra has been a member of this committee from 2023 to this year. He's finishing his term. So this is an opportunity for us also to call him out and to recognize his contribution, his passion, his leadership, because leaders are the ones who lift others. And he has been doing that. And he has been really equipping and helping the Asia Pacific and South Asia champions to really deliver value. He's also the founder and past chair of PMI New Zealand Sustainability Special Interest Group. So sustainability has been part of his passion and commitment for a long time. And also he started his journey in 2017. So when I was talking with him and why sustainability, I like this question. No, like his question is there a better way to deliver more value? How can we increase benefits and reduce costs? So sustainability is that ultimately invitation to add value. And he has been GPM-b certified, so everything that Joel was talking about, the P5, he also considers that the P5 impact analysis help to align and prioritize project KPIs with the organization strategy and outcomes. So I think everything that we have been discussing so far, Pavindra has been bringing it to life. Also, it's important to call out that through Pavindra's work and the New Zealand chapter work, they were recognized as GPM Project of the Year in 2023. And then in terms of like the vision for the profession is to be responsible, to be really strategist, and to really think and connect not only what we do with private world, but also with governments, and navigating the constraints and creating sustainable value for a better world. So Pavindra, we are really grateful for everything that you have done and contribute to the Sustainability Outreach Committee, and also helping us to recruit and to onboard the champions. And we're really conscious about your passion, and that is contagious, and we're going to be delivering on your legacy. Stay with us and stay around, like building on this movement. We know that you're really passionate and you work with the Rotary, and we are going to be connecting and seeing what more can be done to continue elevating the world. Joel, anything that you want to say about Pavindra, because I know that you know him well?
Yeah, Parindra came on to the GPM ambassadors. We have a ambassador program that we run at GPM, and we do monthly roundtables. And he was an early adopter, and he was so excited when he came in. He wanted to run 1,000 miles a minute, and we worked together with the chapter to create a toolkit and to merge P5 and Prism into their toolkit, into their chapter, before we were working with PM on a global level. And they really exemplified what's possible at the chapter level, working with the Christchurch city government and the ministers there. We were able to actually implement the tools into their projects. Parinder was the force behind all of it, and he shows us what's possible. And I think all of us have that ability to take these tools, just like he has shown, and put them into our projects and to share, right? We want to know how it's working for you. We want to hear the stories. We want to hear the success stories and how we're able to create shared value across the globe. So following his example, we want to encourage everybody, take the tools and then share your stories. We really want to hear from you.
Thank you, Joel, and thank you, Pavindra, and thank you to everyone in the Sustainability Outreach Committee, the other 7 members. We're calling Pavindra out because he's finishing his term, and also because he has been elevating others and showing true leadership. That is when you are so generous that you really uplift other people. Thank you, Pavindra. When we look at the champions, we have 33 champions worldwide. So I choose 2 of them to call out today, but of course we're going to be recognizing all of them as we continue our journey. We recruit them in September, so we're just starting. But I want to call out Maureen now. Maureen from Colombia chapter. Again, Maureen was working in the sustainability space even before the joint venture. She's a professor and a consultant, and because of her, like the community grows, she has been really a champion of the sustainability space in her chapter and community. And again, when we were talking about why sustainability, well, project managers play a fundamental role in sustainable and regenerative development. And it's also identifying the project impact, not only for the planet, but also for the people, and to ability to mitigate any risk and drive the creation of sustainable value. So everything that we have been discussing this morning, Joel, or well, this morning for us in the US, but for the UK is known, I think. They also deliver a great conference this year, and Taibo from PMI Sustainability Thought Leadership was presenting with Maureen. Also, when we were thinking about the vision of the profession, I really like what she says, that is, we have the valuable opportunity to lead projects guided by purpose, from the project design stage, but also to really be contributing to local and global sustainability goals. And the image is on the 25th of April. They have the Sustainability Project Day, Projectando Colombia. So kudos to Marine and the Colombia chapter. And as I said, sustainability is part of the PMBOK, and this is an image that she really excited sent to us when we released the PMBOK 8. And I think through the PMBOK, through the GPM and PMI ecosystem resources that Joel presented today, through the GPM-b certification, we really can be equipped to deliver change and to bring sustainability at the heart and center of how we deliver projects. So the GPM-b certification is the guiding framework that provides the tools and establish a starting point and a roadmap to achieve sustainable value creation. So Maureen, thank you for everything that you have done in your community, in Colombia, before the JB, you are GPM-b certified, and also for your passion to bring this movement to life. Kudos to you and happy Volunteer Day to everyone, acknowledging these amazing people. And then I want to call Fernando Romero, or other sustainability champion. He's also PMOGA Hub leader. He's the past president of Angola chapter. And he also is an example where purpose meets action and how is he's passionate about bringing sustainability to life. So why sustainability? Well, for Fernando, in action, sustainability is not a trend, it's a lived reality. So he's really bringing sustainability to life. I really like his quote here on screen, but growing up in a place in Angola where access to basic resources was a daily challenge, that's like really brought that deep sense of responsibility and that intention to give back. And it's what we are seeing through his work, through the work that he's doing with Angola chapter. That was also recognized in Phoenix two weeks ago. And in terms of thinking about the vision for the profession and sustainability and the role of volunteers, well, volunteer has transformed his life and show how project management can be a force for good. And I really like this, no? His dream for the profession where project managers deliver impact beyond results, uplifting people, inspiring youth, and enabling communities to transform their own lives. And we have the superpower of this global community where our projects can protect the planet, elevate people, and expand opportunities. So we can turn really lives and turn dreams into realities. And the tools and the resources that we have as the GPM-b, it's a powerful step for anyone who wants to grow and contribute to a better future. So thank you, Fernando, for everything that you're doing, for your passion that is contagious, for being part of this movement. And also thank you to the other 31 champions, together with Marine and Fernando, the total of 33 that are really being that force for sustainable transformation and are helping us to refine strategies, to connect with chapters, to connect with people that want to get certified, and to really be leading on this transformation where we use the power of the project profession to be really leading and bringing that value and positive change in the world. So we know that volunteers don't necessarily have the time because they are passionate people and they have their work, their families, their commitment, but they just have the heart. They have the passion. They want to really bring this impact to life. So today, in this special day, we want to acknowledge all the PMI volunteers, in particular, of course, our sustainability volunteers, because they are the ones who are bringing and energizing us to continue going forward. And I also want to mention that the United Nations has declared 2026 of the International Year of Volunteers for Sustainable Development. So next year will be even more important for volunteers and will be even more important for sustainable development. So it's a great call to action for everyone to be contributing to this movement, and also a recognition for the people that are already leading this journey, because next year will be an opportunity to do more. I also want to acknowledge some quotes. So the one on screen is for the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. And as we look ahead to the International Year Volunteer for Sustainable Development in 2026, let's acknowledge the vital role of volunteers as change makers who wave through the fabric of 2030 agenda. And they are going to help accelerate action in the second half of the journey. So the commitment will shape a world where sustainable development is not merely a goal, but it's a shared reality that we create together. So, an invitation for all of you to join us in this movement and to really be volunteers for sustainability in PMI. And the last one that I want to share with you is volunteers is where the passion meets solidarity. And I think this is great. So we want to really be confident and getting ready for 2026. And this is an invitation from the United Nations, but also it's an invitation from our sustainability space to be in touch, to be really leaders and agents of change, because there are great things and sustainability is doing the right thing. And we have the right resources and the right tools to make it happen, one project at a time. So again, great and massive thank you to our sustainability champions, to our sustainability outreach committee, to the ones that are all presented or are going to present today. Joel, would you like to add anything in the spirit of recognition and celebration of the amazing work that these people are leading and inspiring us to do?
Yeah, I'll just say very quickly that the future isn't written by governments or corporations. It's written one project at a time, making yours the turning point and not a missed opportunity. And the volunteers behind the scenes making all this happen is the engine, the lifeblood that allows us to do this. So just thank you.
Thank you. So I think we start the presentation today with this question, no? Are we managing projects? Are we shaping the future? So I know that we have a couple of minutes for Q&A. So this was our invitation to all of us, all of you, to be the spark in our spaces, in the projects that we lead, in the communities that we connect, because when we start acting, other people will follow, and we have the resources and the tools to make this happen and to start this movement or to continue this movement together with our volunteers. And yes, so now I think we have 10 minutes for Q&A. So I'm going to pause sharing and then we can invite people with questions.
Thank you so much. That was a fantastic talk. And I do like the fact that you're making these tools accessible to everyone in a time where there all seems to be a monetary value to get a qualification or get some experience. You're enabling people to get some experience, and especially in an evolving area within project management, to get their foot into it, which is great. I could talk to you for hours, but we've got loads of questions, so I'm going to jump straight into those. The first one, how do you see sustainability indicators being integrated into the future editions of the Pembroke performance domains without adding unnecessary governance overhead?
So you want me to take that one, Lucila?
Yeah, go ahead and I can add.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? Sustainability KPIs, you can't really prescribe them in advance. Those have to be tailored and molded to each project and each organization. And each organization has their thresholds, which they've already defined. It's our job to understand how to build those, how to tailor those to the needs of each project and every organization. That's why we've given you these tools. That's why the competence standard is there and the P5 is there. PMBOK tells you what needs to happen, and this gives you the tools to make that happen. So I don't think PMBOK would go that far because it's really not meant to. I think that's really for us to develop and define ourselves.
Thank you. Which of the 5 pillars, planet, people, prosperity, peace, or partnership, is the most important in the short term, and which can be most easily impact by projects?
So that's kind of the easy one. Lucila, you want to take that one, or you want me to?
No. You can go ahead. I want just to mention something about the PMBOK. Remember that the PMBOK is also built from the community. So it's not something that PMI dictates. It's part of our collective community suggestions and ideas. So if anyone is interested, they can kind of like explore more how they can contribute to this. But it's not something that we impose as PMI. It's something that happens in our community. Go ahead with the second question, and then perhaps I can add anything related to that.
There's a couple ways to look at this. What's really important, one, if there's no environment, nothing else exists. If we don't take care of our planet, then what's the point of all of this? People can't survive without a good planet. So one, biodiversity loss, climate change adaptation is first and foremost on the list. But all of them are interconnected. And because of what happens in society impacts what happens in biodiversity. So we can't look at them as one-off or silos. They're all integrated. We must tackle everything all at once.
Yeah, and I like what Joel says, because I think there is a lot of interconnectivity, and ultimately organizations, communities are based on people. So for me, for example, if you ask me what is my preferred one, it's like the people dimension, because everything it's about people. And if we don't have like the right behaviors, if we don't have sustainability in organizations, it's impossible to deliver change. So I think all of them are interconnected, because for me, for example, the people dimension is super important, because it's how we deliver change, how we protect the planet, how we live a better life for us and for the future generations. So that interconnectivity and one connecting and impacting the other is super important.
Yeah, and let me follow up on Lucila there too as well. You're right. And it doesn't matter if Joel Carboni or Lucila Dotto is on here talking and you've had 1,000 webinars. It won't move the needle. It won't change literally anything unless all of us, there's millions of project managers in the world doing our projects in our own little context, building bridges in remote parts of Southeast Asia, to building skyscrapers in Dubai and everything in between. Unless we put these tools into practice in all these projects, nothing will ever change. We don't want to have a world where we can't breathe the air or we can't enjoy nature as it is today to hand off to our grandchildren and their children. We have to take this serious right now and say, how does this affect my projects back at work today? What can I take and start working on today? The people are so important, as we're the ones driving the change. We have to actually take this very serious.
Yeah. Yeah, we always said, and the badge for our sustainable champions is be the change you wish to see in the world. So all of us can really make a change, small, big, in our work, in our professional life, in our personal life, to deliver a better world. So that's our invitation. And of course, we have the tools and resources to bring that change in the project profession, but it's also a call and an invitation to really be that architects of change, one small action at a time.
Thank you. Is this more an expansion of the definition of quality rather than the end of the iron triangle?
That's a fantastic question. So let me give a comment here. Martin Barnes, who was the first person to invent the iron triangle, he was a Brit actually, a dear friend. He passed away a few years ago, and he gave a lecture at a conference once about the iron triangle, and he said he was wrong. Quality should never have been in there. It should have been about performance. This is a performance-focused model, and it got taken way out of context. And so this isn't about expanding quality, it's about delivering on performance and ensuring that our outcomes perform to the requirement that society deems worthy. Are we building projects and products that actually move the needle in society, that make things worthwhile? Is this needed? Is it necessary? Does this create value for the world? Is it elevating the world through our projects? That's the question we have to be asking. So when you give it a project charter or a business case, you have to ask the question, do we need this? Is there a better way to deliver on this? And to me, that's the most important thing to think about.
There's one for you, Joel. For organizations where sustainability is not yet part of their strategy, what is your advice on how project managers can effectively secure sponsor buy-in for the time and resources needed to conduct sustainability impact assessments?
I get asked this question all the time.
I can imagine.
Especially in the early years of GPM, it was a struggle. But here's my answer. Every organization cares about its bottom line. They also care about being resilient, being able to adapt to changing markets. And today, that's the name of the game, right? How do you adapt to a world in chaos? So you have to be able to speak the business language. And this is where we elevate project managers from the basement to the boardroom. Is by saying, do you speak the business language? Can you explain the value of sustainability to their strategy, to their bottom line? Because it's all about saving resources, creating efficiencies, and building resiliency in their organization. Sustainability isn't about hugging trees. That's one of the side benefits. Sustainability is about delivering on the business case in a way that creates value for the business and for society and the environment. You can do all of it at once. And when they hear that, the business value, they go, I get it. I'll sign on. Because it's not about added cost, it's about added efficiency and about added value.
Yeah. As far as I know, the qualification resources and exam are currently only available in English. Is there a plan to offer them in other languages?
Yes. So yes, in 2026, we will have like the GPM-b certification in 10 languages, plus English, of course. So the exact date to be confirmed, but we are working on that to really put these tools in the hands of people across the globe.
That's a fast rollout in 10 languages.
Yeah.
Got time for one more question. When talking about freelancers, solo entrepreneurs, and SMBs, we know that those business ecosystems isn't the most developed, comprehensive, nor a well-oiled machine. From your perspective, what are the first 3 to 5 steps to take to ensure sustainability gets implemented into the very fabric of business so it scales with sustainability as its core? Are you aware of any tools or platforms that can help implement those steps?
Yes, yes, and yes. So here's the thing. The P5 was developed not to just serve big corporations. It's all projects. I've seen it used on a footbridge in Indonesia to get people to a brand new well. It's understanding the impact of the work you're doing in your context and looking at it going, which one of these fits my project? It could be 7, it could be 17, it could be all 45. But we have to understand the impacts of our work, and this allows us to look at that in our context. So no matter what type of project you're working on, if it's a skyscraper in Dubai to a footbridge in Indonesia, everything in between, these tools are designed for you. And the templates that come with them are completely customizable to your context. So I encourage you, download it, check it out, look at the template and go, how can I implement this in my projects? Even if it's just 2 or 3 elements, you're starting to move the needle. As you take on more and more, as it becomes more easier for you to utilize, expand it. And I guarantee you, it'll create value.
Excellent. Thank you.